He could rap better compared to separated yet pot. Accompany the heart that is different. You can't thump that you can never pulsate the heart, but truly can't really accept that it's been a long time since we truly got to hear from Tupac, not the one clasp on YouTube, not the film or the visualization. Tupac Amaru Sheker. The person individuals think Tupac was killed by Jay-Z sounds staggering right. It seems like Jay-Z made a special effort to drive Tupac up the wall so he could track down motivation to kill him. And you will flip when you figure out all Jay-Z did to Tupac before he passed on, prepared to figure out reality. Welcome to Gay Book of Scriptures. And we should get everything rolling before Tupac came on board the scene. Jay-Z was at that point constructing his music profession. Yet loads of individuals guaranteed that he was scared by Tupac's ascent in the business. Well, we could accept that since Jay-Z engaged in the monster among Tupac and famous B.I.G. Yet how and why? Well, the tycoon rapper highlighted famous B.I. on one of the tunes named Brooklyn's Best, and from the Rockefeller collection, Sensible Uncertainty. And as per music maker and DJ Irv Gotti, he cautioned Jay-Z against including the tune, yet Jay-Z wouldn't tune in. This is what he needed to say. For what reason do you think, Jay-Z, you need to return to Brooklyn's Fine? I was bound and determined against it. I was telling Jay, don't do it, don't do it, don't get it done. And he was like, why? And I was very much like, huge. Is he's areas of strength for two expressed yet. Before we assume control over the world, we got to assume control over the West Coast. Before we assume control over the West Coast, we got to assume control over the East Coast. Before we assume control over the East Coast, we got to take over New York. Before we take over New York, you got to assume control over Brooklyn. And he possesses. See, folks, Jay-Z was very much aware of the hamburger happening among Big Deal and Tupac, yet he continued and got Biggie on his tune, despite the fact that Spice cautioned against it. This makes us marvel, did he do it to get on Pac's nerves? Or was he attempting to become famous online? Well, I'm certain we'll find out soon. Yet before we begin finding those solutions, this is what you ought to be aware. In that tune, Jay-Z and Big Deal took cordial pokes at one another. You see, both were from Brooklyn, thus they attempted to address their way of life in the tune, yet Biggie took it all in all too far when he referenced Tupac. And as per his refrain on Jay's tune, this was what Big Deal needed to say regarding Pa. And afterward, what large did which I resembled. That is the reason Park was shooting on Jay. In light of the fact that a Brooklyn's Best, assuming they have twins, you presumably have two pops. Get it, two sections. And Jay's on the record with him, so presently he's like, __. You ain't no similar to me, Jay-Z. Then he began bombarding on Jay, deciding by what erst talking about it appears like a Big Deal had referenced Tupac. Then the thump among Mark and Jay wouldn't be in any case. I mean, Big Deal's most memorable on the tune where he referred to Tupac was alluding to the tricking embarrassment between Big Deal's ex and Tupac. There was news at the time that Tupac had intercourse with Confidence Evans, which she denied in her diary, named Keep the Confidence Anyway. She opened up that Tupac requested oral sex, yet back to the plate from Biggie. We saw that Tupac delivered two melodies, where he did Jay-Z and B. As an applaud back for the thing they said about him in their melody, the tunes he recorded are Bomb First, My Subsequent Answer, and Companions, which were made a month prior to his demise. You see, Big Deal and Tupac had been opponents for the most extensive length of time, and have even gone past diss tracks to actual assaults at one another. In addition to the opposition between East Coast rap and West Coast rap was extreme at that point, so Jay-Z was simply in the middle between everything, except it is conceivable that Jay-Z might have been truly distraught at Tupac for what he did, that he needed to have him killed on the grounds that everybody realized it was a month after the meet with Jay-Z that Tupac was shot and killed. So might it at some point genuinely have been trust's arrangement Well, we don't have the proof on that, yet Jay-Z wasn't quiet in the wake of hearing Tupac's diss track Digger, proceeded to record his reaction anyway. The track was never delivered in light of the fact that Tupac was killed before the arranged delivery date, a fascinating new development. I would agree, yet certain individuals accept that Jay-Z organized the homicide in spite of recognizing the dead by not delivering the melody, but rather on the off chance that we will think about Jay-Z's contribution in Tupac's homicide. We could interface it to the way that Jay-Z and Big Deal were companions. And maybe the melody they did together was past melodious assaults the hamburger among Tupac and Big Deal went on for some time, even until they're dead. And however Pop was killed before Big Deal Puck had endured a death endeavor where he was shot multiple times. And since that assault, Tupac accused constantly Big Deal of being behind the assault, despite the fact that Big Deal continued to deny it, one individuals who remained by Tupac till his demise was Sneak Homie. He talked in a web recording interview about heading to Shook's home in Vegas when he got the news that Tupac was dead. As per him, he said, "When we drive to Vegas to see Pierre, we got the Shook's home first. So we haven't seen Pop. We conversing with Shug. And he got the head wrapped up. And he letting us know what occurred and talking about Pot going to be oak. He going to get through he had chance multiple times before he going to be oak anyway." Sneak conceded that everything wasn't oak as he swooned at seeing Tupac on the clinic bed. "With tubes in him, they hit me in the head, so we feeling like it will stow away to go to the medical clinic. And see my swooned, then his mom, got me up and strolled in the restroom. Ed had a discussion with me about being solid. She resembled my child. Ain't never seen you powerless. I don't believe you should be feeble. Before him, you go in the restroom and fix yourself up, and you return in here. And you converse with him. Wow, folks, it probably been difficult. So that Sneak might be able to see Tupac in the clinic. Like that with Little Expect Life. The two were close as they additionally addressed West Coast rap on the world stage, so even after Tupac's passing, Sneak carries on his inheritance by performing next to a visualization of Tupac at the 2012 Coachella show. Individuals couldn't completely accept that it when they saw Tupac's 3D image join Sneak in front of an audience. It was a wow second for sure. Sneak likewise took the distinction of bringing Tupac into the rowdy lobby of popularity. On April 7, 2017 there, he gave a profound discourse in recognition of the late rapper. A couple of years after the fact, Sneak was talking in a meeting about the tradition of Tupac and Big Deal there. He hinted something that could give confidence to the gossip of Jay-Z killing Tupac. As per Sneak Home Slice, he accepts that Tupac and Big Deal, what might be said about shown any semblance of Jay-Z and Nas, had they actually been alive. He expresses take a gander at Pierce Big Deal. And Tupac shows up with Sneak homeboy Jay-Z and Nas. And I believe that's the long and short of it, since every other person was before us, or after us. Nas and Jay-Z, they're still here. Sneak homeboy is still here, yet Tupac and Big Deal haven't arrived. So the thing is Nas doing, he's dropping bomb-ass collections, done incredible agreements, an extraordinary financial speculator. He went to the tech side of the game in Cove region and took incredible actions. Jay-Z, in the meantime, has extended his impression past the universe of music. The endeavors incorporated our psyche to Birchneck champagne and his own line of pot items. Now, while Sneak homeboy had this to say, we found something different that caused us to accept for a reality that Jay-Z was likely desirous of. Tupac rap symbol and finance manager Nast talked on how Jay-Z really had an outlook on certain rappers in the business. And everything he said was a major stunner decent, said to fans that Jay-Z professed to be preferable over Big Deal. And that Tupac and DMX were not lyricists anyway. Nas contradicted him and expressed that Tupac was the best. T.I. additionally remarked once that Tupac was a preferred rapper over Jay-Z. And no sooner than he had posted it when he got a call from Trust, We were looking at something different, something different. Totally non-related, you understand. What I'm talking about, and afterward this. And they say gracious. And by the way, laughter gracious. And by the way, you truly accept that I said. Definitely isn't that stunning. Is Jay-Z so shaky about his spot in the business that even a very long time after Tupac's demise, he's actually attempting to